So Crimson Square Theater Company has residency at Beverly Hills Playhouse, which I believe, I could be getting the date wrong, but I think it was built in 1931. So it's this historic old building. We have two theaters. We have a main stage and a research space. Our main stage, although we call it 99 seat, it's actually less than that. It's probably closer to 70, and then if we oversell, we can probably squeeze about 85 people in there comfortably before we start having to stand. And the research space is even more intimate. That is like a traditional black box. There's no proscenium. The main stage is raised and has proscenium. The research space is a traditional black box with brick walls, and I think it seats something in the 30s, maybe 35. So there is a very intimate feel to everything that we put up, because you are very close to the stage. And even if we have, like on the main stage, we have a curtain, it's a very traditionally structured theater space, but it is small. So there is this, you're pretty close to all of the action. It's almost immersive in that way, which I think brings a very special element to all of our productions, because it's not far away. There's no microphones. Like, you're really right there with the storytelling and with the actors. So I think that that's something very special about our space. And, with the building being so old, we have a little traditional courtyard. It has a stone floor. I mean, there's just a peaceful kind of, it doesn't feel like you're in Los Angeles for a moment. And I like that. Well, I started Crimson Square Theater Company back in, I guess it would be the winter of 2018, because a actor friend of mine was asking me to produce a show, which ended up being our very first show. It was I Am My Own Wife, which is a very unique, very challenging piece. And this particular actor has incredible work ethic, and he spent 6 months taking extra bartending shifts to save up the cash to help put on this show so that he could play this part. And he did such a wonderful job, but as many people know, theater is not the most lucrative investment opportunity out there. You're very successful and lucky if you break even. Making a profit's very hard. And I remember thinking it was really unfair that, actors who are like some of the poorest demographic, especially in theater, would be having to take on the burden of trying to finance a show like that. And yet, if you are emerging and you don't have a ton of credits yet, oftentimes if you want to be in a specific piece, that's what it would take to put it on. So I started Crimson Square with the idea that we would bring together seasoned professionals with lots of experience and put them in the same productions as emerging professionals who were, talented, upcoming. Maybe they had some credits, but not as experienced yet, so that they could really learn by doing. And the company would provide the structure for the financing and the publicity and the marketing and putting together a season, so that it wasn't like a bunch of people having to scrape together the money to put on a show, and then after that it takes 2 years to recover from that, and then before you can do your next show it's like another 2 years. It just seems like there had to be a better way to do it. So that's sort of what makes it unique, is that we have a very large educational mentorship angle. So we are trying to mentor new directors. We have a writer's lab. We are commissioning 6 brand new plays this year. And all of the writers in our lab, started the lab 2 years ago. Some of them had never written before. We try to provide education to people who maybe didn't have the financial access to go get a degree in screenwriting, things like that. We train stage crew, stage managers, wardrobe, props, set building. If you look around LA, it's like there's a shortage of staff everywhere. We lost a lot of good people during COVID. They don't just pop out of nowhere. Somebody's got to teach them. And I'm a huge believer in learning by doing. So I'm like, let's take a pro who knows how to do this like in their sleep and put them with some people who, have some experience building set or construction or whatever, but let's get them together and then actually give them the experience of what it's like to build a set, or to learn how to run front of house or operate box office. And so I think that's what makes us really unique, is we're not just providing, hopefully high quality theater to Southern California and the Los Angeles area, but we are also trying to bring up the next generation that is going to, fill some big shoes of the up and coming, hopefully, the up and coming name that Crimson Square will eventually become of high quality shows and storytelling. I think that writers, actors, and directors should want to get involved in Crimson Square because there's a lot of opportunity. At the moment, at least, the door is wide open, and that's not something that you see often. I I feel like, even if you're pretty established in your respective field, there's a lot of red tape before you get to be part of something and create something from scratch. And right now, especially because we're so young, this is our third season, we have a lot of room, like, for growth. And that creates a lot of opportunity for people who, maybe the door hasn't been open to them yet. So I would say get involved because you can and it's available to you. And why wouldn't you take the learning experience and get another show or a play or production under your belt? I think it's, like I said, learning by doing is the best way. And right now we have a lot of opportunities to get the doing part underway. So I think that's pretty much why. Crimson Square and theaters like it are important because we are the breeding ground for the next generation of theater, especially on the West Coast. We have a way to train and sort of apprentice and mentor all different roles throughout theater. And, the big houses and the big shows, you can't go on without people in those roles. You need people learning how to do costumes. You need people learning how to write. You need people learning how to do lighting and sound design. And I think that, the community should support smaller theaters like us because we are a place where those emerging talents can grow. It's very hard to create original works and try new things with tons of money on the line, right? If you're at a huge house in downtown LA and the pressure is on, they're not going to risk that on an unknown who's never really done this before. Whereas a place like Crimson Square or a smaller theater house, we can, because we probably trained you. So we get a sense of whether you're capable or not. And then we can, because of that, take a risk and let you direct your first show or let you set design your first show. And I think that element of providing opportunity to new talent is so crucial. It's not something everybody can necessarily go to school for, right? I mean, some people can and some people can't. And I think that it's very important for the community to support the ones who maybe can't, and there's a lot of really talented people out there who just, for whatever reason, didn't go to college or couldn't go to college and get a degree in theater arts, or maybe they went to college for something else and then got out and went, I hate accounting. I really want to do stage set building. And, now they're trying to learn, and it's something that we can uniquely provide opportunity for. So having donations and community involvement means the world to us. We really cannot survive without it. And in supporting a company like Crimson Square, you are providing educational opportunities for people from all walks of life, from young people to underprivileged people to seniors to people who maybe have learning disabilities or special needs but want to get involved somehow. There's all these ways that a smaller house can give opportunity to a community, and being a financial support of that means so much. Your every dollar goes such a long way for a company this size. So if you ever want to support us, you can go to crimsonsquare.org/support. There's a donate button. There's also, if you'd like to be a mentor, if you are, experienced in something like stagecraft or set building or screenwriting or whatever, we also have programs to hook you up on the educational side of things as well.